We're trying to learn and make our lives better, not go back to all the suffering. Think of ancient times. Oh, it was so much better. The average life expectancy was 25. People are getting married at 12, having kids by 15. Does that sound better? Coach Greg, and if you've never heard of the Liver King, stay tuned for this video. In today's video, we're going over what it's like to actually live his lifestyle, the diet, the training, everything. And you're gonna see it's very shocking, and in my humble opinion, it makes absolutely no sense, is redonkulous. You, do whatever you want. I could never live like this, but if you want to live like that, then be my guest. I do a lot of things that other people think is ridiculous, so, to each their own, do you, be happy. Danny Gonzalez, super macho guy, he decided to live the Liver King's life. You're gonna see, how does he make out? How does he do? Looking at this guy, I've seen a number of his videos. He calls all his subs Greg, which happens to be my name. And I just can't imagine this guy being able to live the life of the Liver King.
What's up, Greg?
Well, not too much, Danny. I'm doing a video about you and the Liver King. That's what's up.
So if you recall a few months ago, I made a video about this guy. He's the Liver King, a man who eats balls and works out so hard he cries.
Perhaps one day Danny will do a video eating and training like Greg. I mean, after all, his fans are all Greg. They're named Greg. Why not choose a fan who's actually named Greg? And do a video about Coach Greg. You can eat and train like me, bike ride, lift weights, eat from my freaking cookbook. Trust me, you'll like it a lot more than dieting and training like the Liver King.
I'm going to be periodically consulting a doctor. This is Dr. Renal Patel. And hopefully with her help, I will not die.
Wait till you see what he has to do. I'm very happy that he consulted an actual doctor to see if what he's doing makes sense. So Danny's going to do the 9 ancestral tenets or something. Basically, 9 things that the Liver King does. The first one is sleep. So the Liver King, he sleeps on a bunch of 2x4s and flat on the ground and close to earth, like down in the basement. Well, let's see how that goes.
So while I sleep tonight, I'm gonna turn my phone to airplane mode, and I'm gonna sleep in the basement.
This is pretty much as close to the Earth as I can get.
So personally, I really have no knowledge of this. I can't say that I believe that there's a danger of having your cell phone turned on. I know that if you look at a blue light, read your cell phone before bed, it can potentially affect your sleep, your quality of sleep, but I don't think you gotta shut your phone off and not have phones or electrical currents in the house and all this stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
As I set up my hard wooden bed on the cold floor, I couldn't help but think of my dog Sunday, who also sleeps on a hard surface on top of just one blanket.
And so he makes a good point. Why are we sleeping like dogs? Are dogs somehow getting a better night's sleep? I mean, frankly, my dogs have multiple blankets. They have their own bedroom, and they're warm and cozy, and they like it in there. And one of our dogs sleep in the bed with us.
It was not a good night's sleep.
Probably took me like an hour to fall asleep.
I didn't sleep well at all. I tossed and turned all night. Maybe if I did this for weeks, eventually I would get used to it.
And so it took him 1 to 2 hours to get to sleep, wakes up in the middle of the night and said, I had enough. And think of it, this is one day. He couldn't even make it through one day, even for a video. I mean, if I was doing a video doing the Liver King, he can't even make it through the first tenet. Not a good sign for how this Liver King lives his life.
The only positive that I can take away from this experience is that I have never been so excited to get out of bed.
So perhaps the key is make your sleep so god-awful that you want to get up and move. Maybe that's how it works.
I also don't use deodorant, I don't brush my teeth, and I don't wash my hair.
So, I'm gonna be starting my day by not doing any sort of hygiene.
And so how does the Liver King start his day? Well, he just starts his day. He skips everything. The deodorant, the brushing the teeth, the being healthy, the personal hygiene. You just get up and go. Well, I suppose the bonus is that it saves a lot of time, but I see the downside is no one's going to want to be anywhere near you.
And back in the day, our ancient ancestors were always walking around barefoot, so they were always charging up on that good. We were always sort of suckling from Mother Earth with our feet.
And so next up, Danny's gonna go through 2 of the tenets of connecting with the earth and cold. And so you have to walk around bare feet and just feel the earth. And frankly, this I actually agree with. I'm not here hating on everything. I actually think it can be good. You take your socks off and you just feel the earth. You walk on the beach, you feel the sand, feel between your toes and just connect to the earth. All too often we have our shoes on, we're in high-rise buildings, we're just not connected with nature. And so I do think if you get out and explore the world, go through nature and just take the socks off and relax, that this is a good idea. But not when it's cold outside, walking through the snow bare feet. You got to do these separately.
I can kind of kill two birds with one stone here because there's another tenet called cold.
Comfort is not good for the organism.
That's me, I'm the organism.
And so apparently we have too much comfort in today's world, and so we have to get uncomfortable and just be cold. Go outside with no jacket on and just freeze and shiver and be uncomfortable and hate life. No, that's why we invented fire. That's why we made houses. That's why we invented clothing. Because we're trying to evolve and be better. We're trying to learn and make our lives better, not go back to all the suffering. Think of ancient times. Oh, it was so much better. The average life expectancy was 25. People are getting married at 12, having kids by 15. Does that sound better? No. That's why we've invented things like protection, so we don't have these little critters run around when you're 13 years old. And so can there be some benefit to being cold? Well, perhaps it releases dopamine. You plunge into the ocean, you get cold and you get out and you warm up and you feel good. Well, why not just feel good all the time?
While she'll stand out there for literal hours on end, I could only make it for 4.5 minutes. Honestly, a little disappointed in myself.
And so he makes it through about 5 minutes. Not good. He's not doing very well with living like the Liver King. Perhaps he should have tried progressive overload and started off by living as the liver jester or liver popper, not the Liver King. And up next, what the Liver King is most famous for, how he eats. Let's see how Danny enjoys eating raw liver, bone marrow, and so on.
The liver in general has a really high amount of vitamin A. The other good thing about it is it has iron.
And if you are eating raw liver, you do need to be careful. Some vitamins, fat soluble, you can actually overconsume. Vitamins A, D, E, and K. Raw liver is high in vitamin A, and so if you eat a ton of it, it can build up to toxic levels. So be careful. And raw liver is high in iron, which is great, but the thing is, the people that need more iron are typically vegetarians or vegans, and they're probably not going to consume the raw liver. People who are already eating meat probably don't need any more. So it's not really that beneficial considering you're already probably getting enough.
It's very high in cholesterol. You have higher risk of like bacterial infections. So you can get E. coli, you can get salmonella that way. So that's
also, it is in fact more dangerous. You can potentially get salmonella poisoning. I had salmonella poisoning, had to get operations. Not fun. You don't want it. Had to wear a machine for months, surgeries. It's a nightmare. Try not to get salmonella poisoning, and if eating raw liver increases those chances, well, I don't want to increase those chances.
Basically, all I had to do was mix together some maple syrup. Oh no, dude, that's like nothing. Olive oil and salt, and I was ready to go.
I'm not putting raw liver and maple syrup in my cookbook, but if I did, it would be low-calorie syrup, no sugar added. I can't imagine making this taste like a dessert. Yeah, it's got some sugar in it, but it's raw liver. It's not going to taste good. And a diet that you can stick to for the rest of your life, it should in fact taste amazing. He can barely eat this. And he tries. He goes through one bite, another, and another. Had enough. If he had to eat like this, of course he'd lose weight because he wouldn't want to eat it. Easy to lose weight when you don't like anything you eat, and so you under-eat calories. But the problem is, eventually you're going to cave. You're not going to follow the diet. Go back to your old ways. Regain the weight.
Ancestral tenet number 8. Fight. Look for opportunities that scare the shit out of yourself.
The next tenet is fight, and depending on how you look at that, it can be good. You know, fight for yourself, for your rights to do things. Fight for your right to party, all whatever. There's certain things that are good. But you shouldn't do things that scare the shit out of you if they can in fact cause injury or harm. If it's things that make you nervous, that you're scared to do, that you should try to do, but they're safe, yeah. But you shouldn't be doing things that are going to scare the shit out of you that could potentially kill you, you know? Be safe, take some risk, but risk that makes sense.
Maybe I was giving up because the beef liver was so gross, or maybe I was just so excited to get to the bone marrow.
It just tastes like blood.
And bone marrow tastes like blood. At last I checked, I don't want to eat like a vampire. I have no interest in having raw meats. We're not dogs. I mean, dogs, sure, they would love this, but we're not dogs. We're humans. We We invented fire, we can cook food. Why not eat the foods that we enjoy, the foods that taste the best with the lowest risk of causing infections? Who wants salmonella poisoning?
So like I said, he sent me his own personal workout, and I thought this was gonna be some like absolutely crazy shit. I thought I was gonna be doing like spear throwing, primal sprinting.
And so the Liver King sent his workout, the actual workout that he uses, and he was expecting it to be all this fancy, dancy, ancient stuff, but really it was just a bunch of pressing movements and pulls over and over again. He consulted with the gym owner. Gym owner said, this is pretty much just doing the same thing over and over again. So the gym owner said, doesn't make sense. But if you look at the Liver King's build, it looks like he's a CrossFit competitor. It looks like a shredded CrossFit competitor that's on a lot of steroids. That's just what he looks. But Liver King says 100% natural. So I guess you're going to have to take the Liver King's word or every single other person in the world.
My day is winding down now. It is currently 5 p.m., which I guess is not usually when I start to wind my day down, but it feels right.
And so it's 5 o'clock and he's winding down his day, sitting down, reflecting, and frankly, he's so tired and just wants to get the day over with. You can tell he absolutely despises, he hated it, didn't enjoy any of it. I don't think he'll ever do it again. And although he says he can understand why the Liver King does it, he has some respect for him, you can see he's never going to try this and he thinks that it's ridiculous. He knows that Liver King does it. He does say that, yeah, there's a few vitamins in the meat, but aside from that, you can see Danny hates the Liver King's ancestral way of living. He's not going to try it. He's not going to take part in this anymore. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IB Pro. Check out one of the bloops. You can get harder than last time supplements, including terkesterone, Seco protein bars, and so on. It doesn't taste like liver. It's good. Tastes delicious. Remember, you can get the Circle Diet book, the cookbooks that you'll actually enjoy, be able to stick to the diet for the rest of your life, not until 5 o'clock like Danny did. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm, and until next time, I am out.